Hey there, this is Data coming at you from the Spence Field Shelter on the Appalachian Trail in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's about 6:45, had a pretty good night's rest. Tossed and turned a little bit because I'm not used to really sleeping in shelters. I prefer my tent, but I had the shelter all to myself, so that was pretty good. So I've got 13.2 miles to go today. There's a 25% chance of rain all day long, but sometimes that means it won't rain at all. So that's what I'm going to hope for, obviously. Well, there you have it. 2 liters of water. The pack is all packed up. I have the rain cover on to start out the day, even though there's not a hint of rain in the air right now. And a fanny pack and the poles are all ready to go. And it is 7 a.m. on Monday morning, and I am up on top of Rocky Top, or one of the places near it. Golly, that just might be the most beautiful sight I've seen on this hike. Clouds off in the valley below me, sun coming up over the mountains, rhododendrons blooming right in front of me, and the grass is in seed. Goodness, it's a glorious day. So the hiker code of conduct requires at this point that I sing the song. Rocky Top, Tennessee, home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Oh, this is Rocky Top. Boy, I don't care what somebody's outlook on life is. The Creator, however you think of that unnamed force, the Creator has outdone themselves right here. It's just glorious. It is just a beautiful day to be up in the middle of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, hiking on the Appalachian Trail. That is this part of the Appalachian Trail this morning. It is just completely grown over. And as pretty as that looks, this grass, every time I walk through a patch of it about this long, from my knees down, might have well been in a rainstorm. So I'm glad it's not raining, but my feet and socks are soaking wet. So I'm glad I have a spare pair. But also I'm going to have to do some rigorous tick checks this evening, because this is perfect tick conditions right here. So I came up on a rise and I found this tree split in half with this interesting configuration here. And a friend of mine has encouraged me to look for these Native American signal trees to Cherokee, formed along this area to help give direction to folks long before the dawn of the Appalachian Trail. So I don't know if that's just a weirdly configured tree or if that's a signal tree, but it sure is an interesting configuration. So it's 10 o'clock. That is straight ahead. That is where I'm going. And that is where I came from, clear up there. So I've been at it now for 3 hours, and I'm 4 miles in, which is pretty good time, except that I wanted to be at about 4.5 miles now. And this is some pretty technical terrain, very rocky, some of it pretty dangerous stuff, some of it hand over hand stuff where I'm climbing on all fours. All of it at best is this kind of loose, pointy gravel that moves around. These stones move around under your feet and poke your shoe, and it's not real hard. It's just I can't go fast, obviously. So I'm just going to have to keep moving along at it safely and carefully. But I did know this was a big technical section, so we'll see if these rocks get the better of me, and I'm just going to slow down, take it easy. Guess we'll all know a couple hours from now how it's going. I hit been running across these little orange flowers not quite opened up. And I have no idea what these are. I just ran into one of them that is opened up. And it's just surreal looking. I've never seen it. It's almost like it's upside down from its weight. You know, like you're supposed to see it this way or something, but it actually looks like that's how they're supposed to be. Interesting little purple flowers. Right now also playing host to a bee. Right over there somewhere. There he is. There's a daddy longlegs kind of a spider. Feeding on the flowers also. I have seen these on and off on the trail. Again, they look like some kind of orchid, but I don't really know that. There are a bunch of spiders and a bunch of bees on this. So there's a whole set of them on both sides of the trail here. So I got to Derrick Knob Shelter at 11:45, which is a pretty good time. I'm happy with that. There wasn't really a good place to stop and take a break at the halfway point of the morning, so this is really 6.5 miles in, and 11:45, so this will be my lunch break. And I'm going to take a longer break because all of that dew in the morning got my feet and socks completely saturated, so I'm back to having wrinkled up feet, and I'm afraid I'll get another bout of trench foot. But I can take a couple of minutes to show you the shelter. It's a double-decker, as is common in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The first thing I did was to hang my entire pack, not blown up like it is now, but just right off my back, up on the bear cables that are right over there, and then take a rather steep path down to fetch water. So I fetched 3 liters of water in like 30 seconds. There's a piped spring here that was running like crazy. It was really nice. So then I hiked it back up the hill, took my pack down off of the bear cable, and got my camp shoes out. I'm just going to watch the bees feed on all these cute little flowers. The yellow ones almost look like they could be black-eyed Susans of some sort. But the ones over there especially look like black-eyed Susans just because of their height and their bright yellow. So yeah, this is your standard Great Smoky Mountains National Park shelter. Eating area out front. A little sitting log along with a fire pit grate. It's got a quote-unquote toileting area off to the right, which I think means a place you dig a cat hole. I don't think this one has a privy at it, but it's got a nice skylight, so even when it's gloomy out, there's to get some light on the inside. And I got here at 11:45. I'll be here till at least 12:30. I'm going to take a solid 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, to rest up, to eat lunch, and to hopefully, if the sky will clear just a little bit more and not rain, dry these socks and shoes out a little bit. Back on. I have another 7.5 or so to go today, so yeah, it's been a pretty good day for hiking. A lot of very, very technical climbs. I got over them, but it wasn't as quick a hike. It wasn't as fast hiking as yesterday because it was a little more treacherous, so I had to be a little more careful and take my time. So I took a full 1 hour break at Derrick Knob Shelter. I ate. I let my shoes and socks dry out a little bit. in the sun. It did seem like they dried up a little bit, so that was helpful. They feel much better now. It's 1 o'clock now. Oh, I also filtered 2 liters of water. So I'm fully cameled up and loaded up with calories. I'm back on trail, about 15 minutes out of Derrick Knob. I have 7 miles left today, and that means to get there by 7 o'clock, I have 6 hours of hiking time. I mean, I can get there after 7, the sun would still be up, but the shadows and stuff start doing some weird stuff later in the day up in the mountains, so it's harder to hike, I think. Because tomorrow I come off trail at Newfound Gap and hitch a ride into Gatlinburg. So I'm hoping to be able to do that in time to clean up and have a decent dinner and all that. And also, this was always the goal. Today is the most challenging day I built into this hike schedule. It's a lot of elevation change. Some of it is very technical. This part is not. And if the rest of it is like this, I'll be fine getting to Double Spring Gap Shelter. Anyway, I'll be fine getting to the Double Spring Shelter by 6 or 7 if the trail remains cruisy like this, albeit it's going to start picking uphill pretty quickly. And once the elevation starts, I've decided I'm not going to do any filming. I don't really have enough time left today. I need to focus on hiking. And just met a couple of adult lady hikers. One of them has retired and bought a house down here, which is a VRBO also, called Rocking on Heaven's Door, and then they have another one. And those were I met 3 other hikers earlier in the day, just before that, just after I left the Russell Field Shelter. And so I've now seen 5. I didn't see anybody before lunch today at all. And I only saw one person yesterday. Today I've seen 5 section hikers. And they're all kind of like me in terms of being older and just kind of relaxing their way along the trail, and good social skills and fun to talk to. And really, once again, I'm reminded that the trail is great, the scenery is great, the exercise is great, the thinking about my own life is great, but also the people you meet, pretty cool. So you can see by how wide this trail is, it gets used a lot, or it gets groomed a lot, or both. So I'm pretty confident that I will make my goal. In fact, it's about 3 o'clock, so I'll take my 3 o'clock break here and do a mileage check and figure out how I'm doing so far. This is Seiler's Bald Shelter, and I just walked past it because I'm going to the next shelter on, and it's a little more threadbare than some of the other shelters in the national park. It may not get used as much as the Double Spring, which is the next one I'm going to, but it's still got a double platform and a nice eating area and a big covered porch. And so the climb up here actually did get a little bit technical at one point. Not hand over hand, but hard enough that it was slow going. Now I have a little bit less than 2 miles to go, I think, to the Double Spring Shelter and my home for this evening. This has definitely been a long, challenging day, though. It's about 4:30. With luck, I'll make my shelter about 5:45 or 6 o'clock. Having started at 7 this morning, it's definitely my longest day on trail and my longest mileage on trail this trip. I did make it to the shelter on time, but I couldn't film anything because the shelter was at full capacity, which I'll detail in tomorrow's video. Happy trails to each of you.